Hi, this is Deborah Atkinson, Voice for Fitness, and I have a tip for you. And I got you here talking about movers or mobilizers and stabilizers and how you know the difference. But right now I'm talking about your fitness business. I'm not talking about stabilizers, global stabilizers, or mobilizers, meaning muscles that move you and how they do it. What I'm talking about is when you're giving a presentation, you're making a pitch, you're trying to get a sale, in other words, for a new client, new customer. How do you know if you're talking to somebody who's actually a decision maker? Because I know a lot of trainers, a lot of my staff trainers, and a lot of trainers in general that I meet at conferences or consult with don't always know whether their presentation would have gotten results or not based on their performance or whether they were talking to the wrong person. And if you are, you're wasting their time. Most of all, you're wasting your time because you are never going to get to a yes and a bottom line if you don't have a decision maker. So how do you know the difference? So stabilizers are those people who will suck you dry of all of your ideas. They may come up to you and say things like, could I talk to you? Could I take you to lunch? Could I pick your brain? And they will be happily satisfied to continue to get information after information, but never really make a decision. They will let you know how much they want to work with you, but they will never do it because they don't have the power to do it. They may not have the finances themselves, and they actually have to go back and report to somebody else who carries the power for the bottom line. How do you know that? While you're doing it, you are perfectly able to answer all of their questions. You are totally in control as a leader and as a teacher. But what you get eventually is that sense that this really isn't going anywhere, that I'm continuing to teach, and they're so willing to accept everything that you say and eat it all up, but it's not going to go somewhere, and the sooner you realize that, the better. Now here's the difference. If you have a mobilizer, you will feel challenged during that meeting. They will ask you the hard questions, the ones that you don't have the answers to every time. They will ask you things that you haven't thought about, bases that you haven't quite covered, so you have to go back maybe and do some research. That's a good thing, not a bad thing, because when you have that person, you know you have a decision maker there. And their decision doesn't necessarily hinge on whether or not you can answer every question at that moment. It hinges on whether or not you will do your homework, you will do your follow-up, and you will get back to them and ask for the business. So that's the difference between your stabilizers and your mobilizers, so that you can be more successful in selling and making more profit in your personal training business. If that was helpful, click right here and go to the website. Get on the blog, get on the subscription, and get more tips for marketing more successfully every day, all year. And I'll see you on the other side.